This is Mr. Vine's 8th grade career exploration class, and the highlight starts
now. Welcome to WJPS News. I'm Acelin, Lunetta.
And I'm Giovanni, Duran, and you're watching the highlight. Mr. Petrotta shares advice with graduating seniors. Diego Hernandez has the story.
So, for rising juniors and seniors, my advice is pretty simple. The first thing that I would recommend is to remember that organization is very important. There's nobody in your life now that you're getting older that's going to organize yourself. So, organize for you except for you. Let me say that. So, it's very important that you use a planner or Google Calendar or whatever it is to kind of make yourself organized so you know what's due and when. You can kind of set the pace for yourself to make sure that you're on track for classes. Because once you get to college, you're going to get a syllabi with all of those due dates all at once. It's going to be very important that you're organized and settled and able to keep up with everything. The other piece of advice I would tell you is that habits matter. So when you go home at night, what you decide to do matters. If you're doing extracurriculars, awesome. If you're doing sports or college classes, even better. But it is also very important that you take a habit of taking a little break for yourself and then being able to get right back to work. Do what you need to do. Being in the habit of checking your work, seeing what's coming up next, being on top of your life. It's a very important skill. Seniors, hello. So I think one of the most important things to note is that senior year will go by incredibly fast. You've probably felt it already. You've already applied for college, most of you, or those of you who are catching up are still applying. It just goes fast. So you gotta take time and enjoy the moment and keep up. It's like running down one of those big giant hills, especially after the winter break, you're gonna feel like you're running downhill. You just gotta keep your legs moving, keep those feet in front of you, and make sure you make it to the end. Make sure you are setting a good example. As a wise senior just reminded me, it is very important to know that you are setting an example for the school and making us proud. So continue to do that. Do not fret about what you cannot control. And I mean that in a variety of ways. Things work out the way they're supposed to. So you may not get into your dream college, or you may get more money at a college and end up going to a different college than the college you thought you'd be. And it all works out. That's what I will tell you. Things get better, things get easier, it all ends up working out. Be resilient. Don't let any sort of setbacks make you feel sad or inferior or less than, because it's okay and you're gonna make it through this crazy year. And my last piece of advice is more for when you leave, but it's very important to keep the door open. And that's something I learned when I first dormed at college. It was a piece of advice my older sister gave me. She said, make sure when you move into your dorm, you keep your door open. And you do that because it lets people know that you're open to meeting new people, open to meeting new friends. You say, hey, do you have Easy Mac? Sure, come on over to my dorm room, right? You get to know the people around you. Keep your door open to new people, new experiences, and you guys will be just fine.
We take a look inside Mr. Mangani's 4th period economics class as they discuss investments. Ameen Afroz reports.
Armed with that knowledge, okay, how does investing in the fund, okay?
Mr. Mangani's 4th period economics class are learning how to properly invest their money for the future and are starting off by learning the basics towards interest.
It's not how much you save, it's how early you save. And in order for people to be financially independent and not have to work for a living when they're 65 and in retirement, they need to start saving money now.
Students go over their lesson in a variety of ways, such as writing down notes, using different websites, and other resources to help learn about investing.
In the regular economics class, we use a series of activities that try to simulate different topics with them. So in terms of investment, a simulated activity would give a student a hypothetical portfolio, and they would have to allocate money in that portfolio to different types of investments.
Students also play a simulation game called Stacks that gives them $20,000 to help them practice investing over 20 years in one period.
The Stacks game is one of my favorites because it manages to simulate 20 years of investing in one class period. So students have the opportunity to practice investing with real portfolio returns, and they can invest any way they want.
Mr. Mangani's 4th period economics class will learn new ways to help them invest for the future. I'm Ameen Afroz reporting for WJPS News, The Highlight. WJPS Principal Dr. Warner hopes the 2022-2023 school year will help students fully transition to a higher learning.
So a main goal is to get our community back together, right? We had a long time where we weren't together, we were learning separately, and now one of the goals is to get us back into a healthy, vibrant learning community where people are good to each other, where people are learning, and people are preparing for their futures.
Dr. Warner hopes that students are responsible for their actions and decisions.
Reminded of them, right? If we're keeping each other accountable and we're holding ourselves accountable. So if somebody is not working on that goal, that there are people around them who are reminding them why it's important.
WJP has 6th graders and freshmen are new. Dr. Warner gives them some encouragement.
Students is to take risks, make friends, show respect to your teachers, and when you're new in any place, notice the things that need to change and notice the things that are good that you want to emulate. And you're a fresh pair of eyes. So it's always important to make sure that you're looking at things in a new perspective, and you're also following the rules, right? Every new environment is going to have rules and expectations, so make sure that you know those.
Dr. Warner has an open door policy. If you have any question or concern, her room is on the 3rd floor.
And here's a look inside Coastal Preservation's Farm Festival with Juliana LoPinto.
The College Point Farm Fund Festival is hosted by Catherine Servino of Coastal Preservation Network. It has many activities for children and families.
Hi, so Coastal Preservation Network is an organization that we founded 20 years ago, and we really focus exclusively on College Point and on the parks in College Point, and our main goal is to improve the environment in College Point, to improve the waterfront environment specifically, and to connect people in the community more to the fact that they live in a coastal community.
Coastal Preservation has worked with College Point for years to help better the community. And they are always trying to incorporate activities to make helping the community fun.
A few big events each year, and one of them is our Fall Farm Fest. And the reason that we have this is really, number one, to have fun in an outdoor environment and connect people to the outdoors. Number two, to improve our parks. So today we're planting 1,000 daffodil bulbs. We are cleaning up a lot of areas in Powell's Cove Park, which is a very expansive park. It's about environmental education while we can also have fun. And part of the fun part is that we have a petting zoo. So we brought in an emu, Mo, Larry, and Curly, the sheep, a bearded dragon, and several rabbits and chickens. And so it's just to introduce kids who maybe don't have this in their daily environment. Most of us don't have an emu in our daily environment. To introduce them to nature, different career paths, environmental awareness and stewardship.
That's a wrap on the Powell's Cove Farm Fund Festival. I'm Juliana LoPinto reporting for WJPS News, The Highlight.
And here's the weekend weather forecast with our middle schooler of the week.
Thanks for this weekend's weather forecast. On Friday, there will be a high of 34 degrees and a low of 11 degrees with a 0% chance of rain. On Saturday, there will be a high of 26 degrees and a low of 6 degrees with a 0% chance of rain. On Sunday, there will be a high of 45 degrees and a low of 26 degrees with a 0% chance of rain. I'm Frank Quartarolo. Now back to the studio.
And that's a wrap for our show.
For Acelin, Lunetta, and the rest of the WJPS News team, I'm Giovanni Duran, and thank you for watching.